there's been some big leaks for Call of Duty 2025. And the most recent one was specifically for zombies, and Mila made a video on it, so I figured, why not watch it? So here we go.
Guys, this is crazy. This is out of this
Where did he come from? Did he just fall from the ceiling?
world. Primis are coming back in Call of Duty Zombies. We're going to dive into the full story today. I'm going to give you the load.
So before he gets into this, my prediction is the Black Ops 6 story for zombies is essentially going to be summoning the Primis crew. And then in come Call of Duty 2025, it'll be playing as that crew. That's what I think.
I'm going to explain how this could work for the story. I'm going to explain why this might be good, despite the fact that a lot of people right now are characterizing it as bad. And I'll also be revealing some cool news related to me and some news related to the upcoming Zombies map in December that is releasing for Black Ops 6. So this is going to be an action.
Okay, so he pretty much confirms that it's releasing in December. It wasn't confirmed for that.
A report just came out from Insider Gaming, which states that not just one source, but several sources were invited to Call of Duty 2025 playtests. So that's
like mind-blowing to me.
the game after Black Ops 6, which is rumored right now to be Black Ops 7. And in those playtests and feedback sessions, it was revealed that Primis is going to be making a return. And they weren't ambiguous about what Primis means or who Primis is. They, by name dropped Dempsey, Takio, Nikolai, Richtofen, all coming back in Black Ops 7 and as Primis, seemingly. Except, and there's a key detail here, they weren't just the Primis characters from Black Ops 3, let's say, in that age, shape, form, etc. And that doesn't mean that they were Ultimates. Like, let's be clear here. They weren't the 1.0 version of those characters. They were still Primis, but they were older versions of Primis.
Interesting.
Which is super interesting because we've had rumors of old versions of those characters for so long in the zombie story because of leaks that have happened in, when was it? Like Black Ops 4 kind of era? Like, I'm pretty sure there is an old man, a Dempsey or something somewhere in the game files. And so the fact that this looks like an old man version, or at least an older version of the Primis crew, would align with that. Now, it doesn't end there. There's more to this leak, but just to pause for just 1 second, this is insane, right? Because for those of you that might have been out of the loop over the last few years, Primis ended their arc at the end of Tag der Toten, where we basically ended the entire Ether story, and then Richtofen and Samantha went through their little portal and...
So this is what I think is going to be the downside of this, is that the story already has an ending, right?
Out at the end of it popped the Dark Ether story, which we are now playing in, which is connected to the entire Call of Duty campaign universe in a much more meaningful way. It's connected to the Chaos story in a much more meaningful way. And so in some ways right now, it's almost felt like the Primis crew's actions kind of gave birth to the rest of Call of Duty. But I guess it kind of makes sense for that emergence and connection of everything beyond just the Tag der Toten ending would then also include connection to the Primis world and to Ether in a bit more of a meaningful way, potentially. But it's extremely controversial because of the fact that it ended in Tag.
That's exactly what I was saying.
I'm going to come back to this next detail in the leak in a second here, but I did a poll on Twitter just purely saying, should Primis return to the zombie story? And the results are pretty much 50-50. There is so much resistance to the idea of Primis returning, and the phrase that is always thrown around is, let them rest. That is what everybody says.
I thought he was going to say, let
my boys rest, right? Like, they fought their battle, let them rest. And I would really encourage you, if you're watching this video, to go and vote in this poll.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Also, to go and vote on the poll I did in my YouTube community tab, and I'll put links to both of those below.
Oh, so the YouTube
community tab poll has pretty different results. Let me see if I can find it. Actually right now is 60% in favor of Primis returning. So
more casuals on YouTube than on Twitter.
Great War, honestly, here is not going to be the one that we were hoping to see Primis fight.
Trying to find it.
It's going to be the war inside the zombies community of whether or not it's a good idea for these guys to return, because there's so much conflicted feeling, I feel like, across everybody right now.
17,000, 53% yes.
Seeing those results, I was thinking, what is a way that crowd could get around this problem, right? And my idea is, what if the villain of the story resurrected Primis, okay?
Yeah, that's what it seems like is going to happen.
Brought back against their will by a villain, And then we, as players, had to fight to stop the villain in order to let Primis rest. Like, we all want Primis to rest so much, right? So what if we, in-game...
Why would the villain be bringing them back?
Actually
That's the real question.
to make that happen against a bad guy who is going against our will and bringing them back so we at least see them and they're involved again. But all the resentment that we feel about, oh, I don't want this set of characters to be brought back, it's not going to feel right. Well, we can direct that resentment and that discomfort to this new villain, and that can actually make us care about the villain, because in Zombies for years no one's gave a damn about the villain. Like, who cares about the Forsaken? Boring. Like, who cares? Like, no one cares right now. The stakes in the zombie story currently feel so inadequate, I think, for people to actually get invested and get involved. And so this feels like a perfect solution. So I think I cooked with this, but you can let me know in the comments down below if you think that I'm just sort of talking out my ass here. Now, the leak also says that Call of Duty 2025 is set to be a Black Ops 2 sequel. So in terms of where this is going to fit in the overall wider canon, those characters being older with it being a Black Ops 2 sequel, where Black Ops 2 is set in 2025, that also makes sense. However, it's a little too old. So if we think about the Primis characters' ages, they were fighting in...
But I think when we're going through portals and stuff, the ages...
Great War, right? World War One. So by the time we get to 2030 or something,
they're all in wheelchairs.
Be completely incapable of fighting anything, let alone feeding themselves. So I think that what we're probably going to see is the life extension technology that Gabriel Kraft has clearly made use of, and that Ravenov in turn then makes use of in order to survive through to Modern Warfare 3 zombies, is probably going to be also being used by Primis in order for them to survive. Or their sort of timing and their birth point is going to be shifted in this new universe compared to where it was in the original one. I think that is also a pretty likely thing that we see happening. And in that case, it need not even be Primis per se, but it could be a kind of new final form of this crew. Like, what if it was, instead of Primis and Victus and Ultimus, etc., what if it was Redditus, which would be so funny because it's got Reddit in it. But that would
Where did that name come from?
Right? Like, what if it was something like that? Now, in those same playtests, we also got info on the first launch map for Black Ops 7, which is so crazy. The fact that we have zombies map information for a game that's not out for another year. Crazy. Is wild. But the map seemingly is transit inspired.
Yes,
and
I
it
did hear
features
this.
a travel system to navigate around the map. And one source revealed there was a plan to have 6 total zombie maps through the life cycle of Call of Duty 2025. So that's all the zombie maps this year, and then 6 maps next year. We're about to be eating so much good food. I am actually so excited. I can't wait. And there is somehow still more to this leak. Now, just to celebrate what...
I don't know if he's going to touch on like the campaign part of it, but it's rumored to be the stories be based around David Mason.
It's going on here, and also to celebrate you wonderful people, and to celebrate all the fun stuff that's been happening on the channel this year. I revealed my No Nonsense merch the other day during the live stream where we beat Terminus and I made my Easter egg guide. And at the time, I thought we could only do a sale for 24 hours, but I spoke to the merch company, and this is what we're going to do. I'm popping a weird squat right now in order to get this on camera, but these t-shirts, which if I untuck here, there you go. T-shirt. Nothing on the back on this one.
It's no nonsense.
Design on the front here, so it's really high quality, and this t-shirt is so soft. And these hoodies, which also have the embroidered No Nonsense on the front, and these have No Nonsense on the back as well. These are going to be available on sale until the end of November. And so if you want the introductory pricing here, and you want it guaranteed delivery in time for Christmas, then get your orders in before the end of November. And that way it's like a Black Friday promotion, and it's guaranteed delivery for Christmas, and it's No Nonsense merch, baby. Let's go. I've wanted to do this for years, and it's your...
Wait, I just noticed this. Look at, he's got the double XP down in the corner.
Support that's been able to make it happen, and so I'm just so excited about all this. So the link is milomerch.com if you want to grab yourself an order, and obviously it's first come first serve, so I wouldn't wait around on this. But yeah, No Nonsense merch is here and it's on sale now, and yeah, I'm so excited. And it's cozy as well. It's so cozy. I love this stuff. So back to the leak, because like I said, there was more. In terms of how much we can trust this leak and these sources, they say that this took place over several different feedback sessions over the course of an entire year. So
what? I've never heard about this happening for a Call of Duty game.
Session could just be testing an idea or something,
yeah.
like doing a little bit of market feedback,
And that's
seeing
happened
what
before.
people think, a bit of user research. If it's been the case over 12 months, that makes it so much more likely that it's actually going to come true. So that is mind-blowing. Like, this is not just like an idea that's like, hoo, that would be funny, wouldn't it? It's real. This is really happening. And there's something in the leak that says that the new story will revolve around a new villain. So that's not Dr. Modi, that's not Richtofen or Maxis or Monty or the Shadow Man or...
Which is good. I think that's good for this series.
Fletcher, Zakaev, Kravchenko. Like, it's none of these goons. It's a new villain, which I think I'm excited about the prospect of. I think I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below on that one. But the villain supposedly wants the dark ether essence of the original characters, something like that. So remains to be seen what exactly that means. But this is just even crazier because we've also just gotten the news that the next Black Ops 6 map is going to be released in season. It is confirmed to still be coming in December, and that means its release date is going to be December 11th. Which is so soon. We are 6 weeks away from a new Zombies map already releasing, and 2 Zombies maps came out.
And then after that, it should be every 2 months after that. So December, February, April, so on.
About 5 days ago. And in the current zombie story, what we've just seen is that Richtofen is now really invested in the Sentinel artifact, okay? And Sentinel artifacts just in general come from the Chaos story, as we all know, and he's going to Avalon in order to try and get that Sentinel artifact.
Oh, okay, so they're going to Avalon. Okay.
Avalon was a Warzone map that was supposed to be releasing now, but basically got pushed back because they decided to release Verdansk as the new Warzone map, or return it instead. But what that means is that Avalon has already been made. These things take a long time to make, so they're not just going to scrap it, but that's going to come after Verdansk, and that's going to
potentially Outbreak.
In 2025. What else is happening in 2025? This new zombie storyline. And so if they end up getting to Avalon, and that's where they get the Sentinel artifact, that's going to mean that they can get the Sentinel artifact at the same time that Primis are returning, and the Chaos crew and the Primis crew can combine, they can clash, they could fight to the death for all I care. Like, just putting both of those crews on screen at the same time, I think that's going to short circuit my brain in some way, but I feel like I kind of feel
like Milo's brain's already been like short circuited a little bit, but in a great way. A lot of you
are probably wondering what my stance is on Primis returning. It's this: do it, just do it. Honestly, you know, I know it's controversial, and I know a lot of people really don't.
I like that he's putting his opinion out there, whether you like it or not.
Like the idea, but every single time I've done a poll, the majority have said they want Primis to come back. And that's the majority of hardcore nerds, right? That's us. We're the most hardcore people of all. We're actually talking about this stuff day to day, right? The general population doesn't have any idea about this stuff, but they do have an idea about the fact that they cared about the zombie story a little bit more when Dempsey was involved, and now they don't care because it's Weaver. Like, who gives a damn? And so if we're voting in favor of it, that means that through all of these feedback sessions that they will have been doing over these 12 months, they haven't had enough pushback from normies to say, yeah, we shouldn't do this. And that means that it's even more popular in the normie market tests. And that means, as far as I'm concerned, that it's going to make the zombies storyline and zombies in general more popular. And therefore, I think you got to do it. I just think you got to do it. But I know it's controversial, so let me know down below if you disagree. And if you want more detail on what the hell I'm talking about with Chaos returning as well, the link on screen right here is the perfect way to get caught up on that. I've got a load of
Milo makes great videos, and I always love to hear his opinion on it. It's always down to earth, but deep entrenched in the zombies community. And I love that he just gave his opinion on that and didn't like beat around the bush. He's like, just do it. Just do it, man. So yeah, let me know what you think.